My name is Wickham. I'm really happy to be with you guys. I'm playing for the church tonight, and I was here all day, so I was happy to be able to hang out with you guys for like an hour or something. And so this is like where everybody here wants to be a part of worship leading. That's what this is, or you just want to? Is that true? Like everybody here's like a singer or a guitar player. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I started playing guitar just to give a background of where I'm from, what I do, what I'm doing now, and I'll open it up for a conversation. I started playing guitar when I was like 12 years old. My dad was a worship leader at Calvary in Costa Mesa, and when we moved from Costa Mesa down to San Diego, I had nothing to do, so I picked up one of the 12 guitars that we had around the house and started playing. And the only thing I learned, I was learning were these worship songs, like the easiest, the G, C, D, E, B, A, like the three chords of the easiest chords I've ever learned at first, And my dad would give me all the songs that he could play with just those three chords, like Lord, Lift Your Name on High, and all these old school Maranatha songs. And I would learn them and get through a stack of 10. And the first 10 probably took me 2 months, But then I kind of knew them by heart, or I could kind of play them. I don't think I knew them by heart yet. And then he gave me a 20, and it'd take me another couple months, but I get 20 down. And that's kind of how I started learning how to play guitar. And I wasn't like, I'm going to be the best worship leader ever, I'm going to learn all these songs. It was just, those are easy songs to play, the songs I already knew the melodies to. And I had no idea, Lord was kind of preparing me even as a junior higher to fulfill a need that was at my church. Because as I got into 7th grade, 8th grade in my junior high group, the guy who was leading worship in the group ended up leaving, and it left us with no one to lead worship. So I think I even remember playing an old Maranatha music CD before we started youth group. That's how lame it was, because we just didn't have anybody that would step up and play for these unruly little punk junior higher kids. Me being one of them, And so the youth pastor found out I could play. I really by heart knew about 5 songs, but I was so petrified when he came up to me and asked if I would get on stage and lead worship in front of these kids that were all brand new because we had just moved down from Costa Mesa to San Diego. So I had no friends. I was the loser kid with glasses and the buzzed hair, and loved it with a Narnia book always under my armpit, and just such little dork, you know what I mean? But he asked me to get on stage, so I was super shy, but I knew Lord, Lift Your Name on High. I was pretty good, and so I did a super long version of Lord, Lift Your Name on High, 12-minute version, But kids, I think it was the first time in that kind of situation, in that culture, that old junior high group in that church, where a kid was put in that kind of leadership, in that kind of ministry, and so I think it was kind of unbeknownst to me. It's kind of an impactful moment in this 30 or 40 kids' lives that, there's a kid singing songs, and it's not almost kind of contagious as I started getting up there and looking at my fingers the whole time, and looking at the chord charts and just kind of playing the songs the best I could. I didn't realize that kind of around me, this little group of junior hires, many of which I'm still good friends with and are in ministry and missionaries now. We just kind of started to realize that we could be used, and we could actually love Jesus on our own and not just go to church with our parents on Sundays and go to Christian school during the week. But it was the first time I started stepping out on my own and realizing that there was more than just doing what my parents told me to do. And I think it was kind of a contagious thing in the youth group, because everybody started, and by the time I was in 8th grade, there's a little junior high worship team of another kid on the electric guitar, and horrible djembe player that had no idea what he was doing, and every girl in the youth group wanted to be on stage singing, and so you kind of had to weed through those girls, but we had a cool little group, and as we went into high school, I started writing songs, and just so we could play them. I'm trying to remember any. I don't remember any back then. I was gonna flag them, but I can't remember any. They're really, really lame. It's like every song you ever heard kind of put into one song. It's how every song was, But the kids, me included, when I say the kids, we would sing them, and they were kind of sweet moments because it was being birthed out of this cool little, Christian uprising that was happening in the youth group. And so I started writing more and playing more, and as I was turned 15 and 16, I started writing songs that I was actually kind of excited about. I was kind of proud of. And my dad, being the worship leader of the big church at the church I was going to, he actually took one of the songs that I wrote during that time. One was a song that I actually just put on my last record called Jesus Lord of Heaven. And he took that one and started leading it in worship, and some other songs I started playing. And then some other churches heard that I was doing these songs, and so they had me come out And after about 6 months of doing that, they started like paying for my gas, which was amazing. You know, I'd like go out and actually got like $20 for gas, you know. And I just started writing more songs and playing more and getting more and more opportunities. Long story short, until when I was about 18, that's when I had like a good group of songs and had travel around to different Calvaries and churches in Southern California where there's kind of people just wanted me to come out and share the songs and lead worship because it had become a part of their church. It was blowing my mind that I was going with like a little band that was not good at all. And we were at like a page guy, $50, you know, and I had to leave with $50 and just, well, this is like crazy good pay for this, you know, and it's becoming my job and I can't believe this. And then there was like this demand for CD, so we recorded an independent record and did fairly well for just a worship artist, an 18-year-old worship artist in Southern California, independently. It did okay. And then some labels heard the songs, and we started a relationship, and a couple years after that, ended up signing with this record label, and it's been growing ever since, and it's been really, really kind of a cool life, and a weird life, and an exciting one. And just in the last, like 7 months ago, got married, and so that's a whole other thing I've been throwing into the whole mix of figuring out how to build this career, be on the road, be in the studio, and also, you know, be investing and growing with her. Her name's Mallory. She's awesome. And so just figuring out how to grow and all of it, and it's just gonna, you know. So I almost want to sit, you know. I do a lot of, not a lot, but I do conferences and question and answers every once in a while, and I always feel. I mean, I've obviously, you know, I go to places and play music, but I just feel so much like I'm still in the learning process. You know, every day is like a, you know, new lesson in patience or humility or figuring out, you know, just keep it simple and keep it about Jesus. So I'm learning with you guys, but if there's any questions that you guys have from how, about what movies I like, to, I'm just trying to think of something random, to what music I listen to where, you know, opportunities or songwriting or how to play songs or just anything that might be on your mind, or if you have like a comment that's not even a question, if you want to like criticize me, that's fine too. Anything? Anybody have any thoughts or questions?